Hey man, what's happening? It's Cool Water, the digital dope man, coming to you live in the episode with another episode in the Barroom Chats podcast, where we focus on topics such as in the areas of entertainment, politics, business, health, culture. Today I got something, man, I want to talk about because, my mind is forever working. And I see shit upside down, which is a good thing. When I was younger, I used to be an oddball. I would cut holes in my t-shirt and wear them to school. People would be talking about me like a dog. But I was kind of a popular introvert. But then I played basketball too. So I kind of had the best of both worlds. I would get the love from people that liked the ability, that liked the fact that I could play basketball. But then there was also the nerdy side of me, the side that wanted to be alone at times because I wasn't good at dealing with social crowds, people, when I had my set of friends, that I ran with, I was kind of young and whatnot, and, got picked on and, went through all that. And as the years progressed, started out, trying to make some money for myself and, hustling the best way I could, to buy whatever I needed for myself because my mama didn't have no money. Got older, and kept at the sport. So the sports gave me a sense of self-worth. And then went to college, and found out, I had a little attractiveness to myself, and the women, was kind of clamoring and, giving me a little bit of attention and whatnot. So that was cool. So with all that being said, I began to become the man that I am today. It took some time. So that leads me into what I want to talk about, which is fashion designer, hip-hop icon, guru, fashionista, Dapper Dan out of Harlem, New York. Dapper Dan, and I never really heard, I think in the Midwest, because I'm originally from Ohio, we heard stories of Dap coming through the neighborhood, but he probably would have levitated a little bit more to some of the, like I've been junior high, like the high school cats who might have been late seniors, late juniors. So, I may have been 13, the cats would have been like 17, 18, 19, would have been more inclined to be into the Dapper Dan. But I'm familiar with him and had heard about him. Because at the same time, like he was saying, most of your hip hop artists, LL Cool J, Rakim, Eric B, and Rakim the rapper, solo artist, Heavy D, Salt and Pepper, all the neighborhood gangsters, drug dealers, you name it, they was coming to Dap to get their clothes done. And on the average scene, the average cat didn't have no money. So Dapper Dan, which I didn't know, and he looks amazing for his age, man, was born in the 40s. He was born in 44, so that will make him about 73. Which means he's transcended about 4 generations. So he's been around and really kind of instrumental since the 60s in understanding black culture, black dress, black attire, black mentality, black behavior patterns, black ideology, civil rights movement, Black Panthers, the emergence of hip hop, the emergence of white corporations in black culture, black magazines, Ebony, Jet, which just finally went defunct and filed for bankruptcy. So Dapper Dan is a staple in black culture. Now, I, and probably those who really wasn't heavy into the fashion side, may have not followed Dapper Dan as heavily. So he has reemerged and he has put out a new book, and the new book is called Dapper Dan. Let's see what they got. Dapper Dan, Made in Harlem. So he a Harlem dude, and everybody know the cats from Harlem. You know, they style and they flossy. You know what I'm saying? Damon Dash, you know, Dapper Dan, all them cats, man. They flash. You know, they say the Queensbridge and the what's the other one? Staten Island cats is like they like the rough, rugged and raw. You know, they the cats that's gonna steal your bag. You know what I mean? They gonna take theirs. They ain't asking no questions. So, as I'm listening to Dan's story, what caught my attention and it had me, you know, looking a little bit deeper was he was sued by major fashion corporations, Gucci, and I don't know how many, and I'm going out on a limb, but Gucci, let's just say Louis Vuitton, let's just say, let's see who else is out there, man, that might have been in the mix real quick. Gucci, let's see, what companies that sued Dapper Dan. I don't see a whole lot. So let's just start out with them. I'm looking as we talk now. He got sued for copyright infringement, intellectual property theft, which would mean that, in so many words, he took their design and reappropriated it to his own situation. In which case, what he said was he took their logo and recreated a brand new style out of it so that black culture could have their own situation with Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all these other corporations, because we didn't have the money. You know, if you wasn't selling dope, you know, you wasn't no D-boy, you wasn't no gangster, it was going to be hard for you to get those clothes because they cost too much. So they ended up initially telling him, you know, they like he said, he confiscated their stuff. They confiscated all his stuff. They shut him down, blase. And then at some point, he, years later, from what I'm reading here, did a deal with Gucci. So Gucci gave him the ability to create fashion with him being in a partnership with Gucci and create the Dapper Dan line, and that line will be a global line, and then turn around and get a royalty, a percentage of the royalties, in which case they probably had some type of, you know, it's either 50-50 or 60-40 or whatever type of situation it is on the deal. Dapper Dan and so many others are subject to white corporation dominance. And this is where I'm going. Dapper Dan was able to create a niche for himself, make money for himself, create a brand identity for himself as an independent fashion designer. But the conglomerate came and squashed the effort because, why? We don't have no economy. We don't have no insurgence of economic wealth that will allow us to be able to fight back. He could have had a Dapper Dan line without Louis, without Gucci, and any of these other fashion identity extremists. He would have had all of that if we would have had some type of muscle. We had no muscle. So without no muscle, you subject to whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever is at your disposal. So Dapper Dan, like, man, now I got me going now. Dapper Dan, what's that dude name? I'm doing two things at one time. And I'm trying to put my thoughts together real quick. Okay, so I was trying to see something real quick. So let me get a little more focus on what I'm saying. So Dapper Dan, like so many others, Carl Kanai, because he was another one. He was a major player. Carl Kanai, Dapper Dan. You had Russell Simmons with Fat Farm, and then these are later entities after Dapper Dan. Then you got Puffy, and then you got Jay-Z, and then you got Damon Dash, and all these cats trying to do clothing lines and get major popularity, worldwide dominance off the clothes that they produced. You see what I'm saying? Most of them brands is defunct. Fat Farm got sold off. FUBU, Damon Johns, I think he still owns that, but it's overseas, and it may make a comeback. I read somewhere it may make a comeback. Jay-Z sold off Rockaware to whomever, so they'll probably be at Target. The Rockaware brand will be at Target somewhere, because after all these brands get exhausted, then they move over to the dollar store. They move over to Burlington Coat Factory, Target, Walmart, or they take the brand overseas and try to exploit the brand that way. But the majority of these brands don't have no muscle because there's no economic backing from black culture. Black culture, we don't have anything. So everything, like Dan was saying, is owned or either co-opted and controlled by white entities, corporations that run the world of fashion. So everybody crazy about Michael Kors. I don't see nothing major about Michael Kors, but everybody got to have a Michael Kors logo, bag, shoes, purse, accessory. For what? You know what I'm saying? Prada, Fendi, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. These brands, man, they've been here for some time. And we buy into them just like Lil Nas jumped on Levi's. Levi's, they've been around for a minute. And then Levi's was the predominant jean that we used to wear in high school before the hip hop culture really took apart, because that was the brand that we was told that, you hook your clothes up with, was Levi's. Everybody still rock Levi's to a degree. But at the end of the day, Dapper Dan, Carl Kanai, hell, Damon Johns, Fat Farm, and all the rest of these boys suffer from what so many corporate or so many independent fashion designers suffer from. Even Kanye. Kanye out here making some of the ugliest clothes you can imagine. And I don't know what he thinking about, but he around them Kardashians, man, and I don't know, he losing his touch or something, but he's subject to have to go through the pipeline and deal with the nonsense in a way that everybody else had to. Because why? They own and control, you know what I'm saying? The corporation owns and controls the pipeline. So Dan, to me, is a victim of white corporate dominance. His talent allowed him to remix clothes with their logo on it. It's kind of like me doing something with some of these flyers. I would take some of the major names, the magazines, the publications, and I would throw my face on it. I would flip it to give myself some sort of brand recognition. And it worked. It got attention. Definitely got a lot of attention. But the stuff was original. You feel me? I was doing an original mock-up. It's the same thing. Dan, got sued, and then inevitably they do what they do. They'll come back and hire you, or they'll come back and do some type of deal. So now from what I'm reading, he did a deal with Gucci. And Gucci allows him, the Dapper Dan brand, to be global. They put that in the stores. He's a partner with Gucci, probably an advisor for black culture and black fashion. And that allows Dan to, Dan to make millions of dollars. Dan to go down in the books as a superhero for what he did. Now, his earlier days, he was a crook. He say he was a crook. He did a lot of illegal stuff, ended in and out of jail, trying to make something happen for himself, using his intuition and entrepreneurial intuitiveness to be able to create money for himself so that he, along with some other folks, could eat the way that he wanted to eat. But, like I said, what I noticed at the end of the day, man, I don't give a damn what you do, how big you become, how powerful you think you are in black culture. You always got to go through the pipeline of white America in order to be able to prosper to your own extreme to a degree. So now you can slide over, take somebody like Master P. He independent. He owned mostly everything he got. He owned No Limit. He owned No Limit Films. He got a new movie coming out. I got the hookup. And he out promoting that and telling everybody, it's cool that Black Panther, made a little money, but that didn't benefit us from the hood. We only got 2%, 2 to 5% of black film production companies in Hollywood that actually produce the film. But production ain't the issue. The issue is distribution. See, that's where the money's made. The manufacturing and distribution. We have no manufacturing and no distribution, so we tend not to be able to control our narrative. So even if you get a plethora of black filmmakers, you got Ice Cube over there, Cube Vision, you got Master P with No Limit Films, Will Smith over there at Overbrook, him and Jada. You got Ava DuVernay. You got Oprah doing a little something every now and then. Who else is out there, man? Hell, I do Raheem Shabazz. I do Rick Mathis. Who else? Tyler Perry, one of the big dogs on the scene. No matter how many producers you get, it doesn't really matter because they don't control distribution and manufacturing. See, the money is made in getting the product to the people. The radio stations and the television networks are not controlled. See, when these folk created this entity, like I said, there's that book by Neil Gabler, How the Jews Invented Hollywood. They understood that in order to make sure that they always was going to eat, they had to control the entity and however it was presented. So television is distribution. Manufacturing. You could be a producer all day long, but you got to go through their pipeline. It's like going to the zoo to see animals. The animals are in the cage, but the people that get the animals and have the keys are the controlees. You see what I'm saying? They have the power, not the individual watching and feeding the animal from outside the cage or the cage caretakers. That's what's important. So until everybody looks and says we got to control and manufacture and the distribution and manufacturing of our own products and services, you can talk all day long about having more black filmmakers because somebody in Hollywood got a green lighted. Now, P, independent, but somewhere somebody had to distribute that product. Who did he go through for distribution? That's the question. See, his film, I don't know if it's going to be, it'll probably be somewhat nationwide. I don't think it's going to be major nationwide, but it may be in 90 theaters. You know, it may be in 100 theaters. You know what I mean? That's the real question. It's not going to be a big like a Black Panther where they got 900 theaters across America that you're going to see the movie, New York and LA. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe Miami, Atlanta, you know, that's the real issue. So cats like Dapper Dan, Carl Kanai, Damon Johns with FUBU, Dame Dash with Rockaware, Russell Simmons with Fat Farm, Echo, Limited. Who else is out there, man? It's so many. Master P had No Limit. Clothing attire. Now he has a new shoe. Hell, I don't know if y'all remember Kango back in the day. Hip hop has made the culture of fashion. Timberland, he blew up off of us. He'll never admit it, but that white dude blew up off of us. Perry Ellis, Polo. What's the other cat that keeps saying he don't want us in our clothes? Damn, my mind went blank. You know what I'm talking about. All of these guys came through our pipeline, but we don't control the pipeline. And because we don't control the pipeline, people are able to come in, make millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, and then extract the money and then go back to the mountaintop and live a different kind of lifestyle. So, not to be too long-winded, I'm gonna get off of here, man. I think Dapper Dan is a product of corporate domination. He could have been and could have stayed independent if some of them gangsters with all that money and all them celebrities went behind him and helped him produce manufacturing houses and distribution channels outside of Gucci. He didn't have to fool with Gucci after he got a name for himself and created the Dapper Dan line and got a distributor to take the Dapper Dan line, local, regional, national, and then global. The conversation will be totally different. He would be kind of like a Master P in the fashion era. And then on top of that, all that modeling that these companies, corporations do when they doing these fashion shows, it wouldn't have been no question. They would have had Dap and his models in the show per se, because he would have been what we call, what I talk about online, is being a disruptor, a social disruptor. And that's what has to happen if you're going to play this game. You can't keep buying in. Now, he got a deal, and that's cool. It's like getting a record deal. He got a record deal, a clothing deal with Gucci. Except he's independent, so they did a deal where we'll give you a high percentages on the clothes that we produce and manufacture, and we'll put your name on it, and we'll promote and market it, and then you'll reap the royalties. You come in as a consultant, blah 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 blah, and help make sure we got it right. Not that that's how it went, but I'm just hypothetically speaking. So shout out to the man. I don't know the man. Like I said, I've heard of the man coming up as a youngster. I had my own style too. And it wasn't affected by Dapper Dan. I was one of them cats, man. I used to rock the polo, the Izod, the dress pants. You know what I'm saying? Then I would come back. I really wasn't a jean. I mean, I rocked jeans, T-shirts, but that wasn't until I got older, till I just got real funky in my attitude about wanting to dress up. But I used to style. I used to style pretty nice, too. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that's black men in general. Some black men take it to the next umpteenth, and they turn the style and the culture into fashion for themselves and then give it back to us, in which case, if they do it right, then you'll get Dapper Dans. There's plenty of Dapper Dans out there. He the one that made it through. It's some other cats that we ain't never heard of, or should I say that that's probably local in different places like Chicago, Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying, Houston and Atlanta and various other places We just ain't, they didn't get the notoriety that Dap did because Dap was in New York and Dap hooked up with the celebrities and he hooked up with the gangsters and he hooked up with the drug dealers. And then boom, his name kept resonating over the years. So, again, man, listen to what I'm saying. I think it's imperative that you play the game from a different angle. Shouts out to Dap for getting to the place of where he is. Congratulations to the brother. Hopefully, like you said, the youth, which I would be considered in that, we can take from his situation and learn a little bit and then kind of create and formulate our own thing, man. It's Cool Water Digital Dope, man. Check me out at ishiphopdead.com. Look for me at the digitaldopeman.com. Check me out at the coming up lecture, Who Killed the Black Entrepreneur. Peace and stay blessed. Holla.